What if someone told you that an entire village was designed to breathe like a living ox? Hidden among the mountains of southern Anhui, China, lies a 900-year-old secret concealed beneath white walls and dark tiles. Its streets are the intestines. Its pond is the stomach. Its lake is the belly. This is not a legend. This is Hongcun. In the year 1131, during the Southern Song dynasty, a massive fire consumed Huizhou village in Anhui province. The flames turned the sky red. A man named Wang Yinji gathered his family and fled through the inferno, leaving behind the home his ancestors had known for generations. They stopped at the foot of Legging Mountain. Here they found clear streams, fertile land, and the shelter of surrounding mountains. Wang Yinji made a decision: no more running. He would build a new home right here. He constructed 13 houses. That was the beginning of Hongcun. "300 years later, Hongcun had grown from 13 houses into a bustling settlement. But they faced a serious problem: water. The villagers summoned a feng shui master named Capy. He visited Hongcun 3 times and finally proposed an astonishing plan: redesign the entire village in the shape of a water buffalo. Legging Mountain became the ox head. 2 ancient trees formed the horns. 1,200 meters of water channels wound through every household, the ox intestines. Water from the west stream was diverted into the village, flowing past every alley and every doorstep. Before 8 each morning, the channel water was reserved strictly for drinking. After 8, villagers could wash and clean. This water system, designed 500 years ago, still works today. At the very heart of the village lies a crescent-shaped pond called the Moon Pond. But why a crescent and not a full circle? Behind this choice was the wisdom of a woman. Hu Chongyang, the wife of Wang Siki, argued, "Full brings loss, humility brings gain. A full moon can only wane. A crescent still has room to grow." This woman's philosophy was carved into the village's heart. The Moon Pond is not just the core of the water system. It is a symbol of Hongcun's spiritual world. Humility, restraint, always leaving room to grow. For 900 years, this crescent has never become full. The Wang clan of Hongcun were not ordinary farmers. They were Hui merchants, one of the most successful merchant groups in all of Chinese history. This mountainous land could not feed enough mouths, so boys left home to trade at just 13 years old. Some would not return for decades. When they returned triumphant, they poured their fortunes into their hometown. Qingji Hall is Hongcun's most extravagant residence. Salt merchant Wang Dinggui spent 600,000 taels of silver and several years building this mansion they call the Folk Forbidden City. 60 rooms, 9 courtyards, 136 wooden pillars. Master carvers spent 4 full years decorating every detail in gold. The most celebrated carving depicts 100 children celebrating the Lantern Festival. Every child wears a different expression. Every lantern bears a unique pattern. This is more than craftsmanship. This is a merchant's longing for the family he left behind, transformed into eternal art. Hongcun's architecture has one iconic signature: the horsehead walls. These stepped white walls rise above the roofline, serving both as fire breaks and symbols of status. The wealthiest families built walls up to 5 tiers high, called 5 peaks facing heaven. And those classic white walls with dark tiles, reflected in still water, look exactly like a Chinese inkwash painting. In the year 2000, director Ong Li brought his crew to Hongcun. Beside the Moon Pond, Chow Yun-fat carried the legendary Green Destiny soared along the stone paths. Zhang Zi flew across the water's surface. The film was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, and Hongcun became known to the world. Nearby, the Muking Bamboo Sea is where the legendary bamboo forest fight was filmed. 6 square kilometers of bamboo, rising like a green cathedral. Today, Hongcun attracts not just filmmakers, but countless art students. They gather around the moon pond with their easels, painting a landscape that has barely changed in 900 years. In spring, Hongcun is surrounded by golden rapeseed flower fields, a black and white jewel set in gold. In summer, lotus flowers bloom across the moon pond and South Lake, pink and white. In autumn, the ancient ginkgo trees turn brilliant yellow, dropping leaves into the water channels. In winter, snow blankets the horsehead walls, and the entire village becomes a monochrome ink painting. South Lake is the ox belly, built in 1607. In summer, lotus leaves blanket its bow-shaped surface. The painting bridge stretches across it, flanked by weeping willows on both banks. The water acts as a perfect mirror, doubling the white walls and dark tiles into a vision of heaven on earth. This is why Hongcun is called the village inside a Chinese painting. In the year 2000, Hongcun and neighboring Shidi were inscribed together as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Over 1.6 million visitors come each year, but in the early morning, Hongcun is still as quiet as a painting. Mist rises from South Lake, white walls appear and disappear, and time itself seems to stand still. 900 years ago, a fire destroyed a village. A family rose from the ashes and built a new home in the shape of a water buffalo. They carved a woman's philosophy into a pond, etched a merchant's longing into wooden beams, and painted an entire village into an ink-wash masterpiece that will never fade. This is the story of Hongcun, a story of fire and water, departure and return, humility and eternity.